They will make him to begin to just thank God. Instead of going to the presence of God. Do you know that most of the time, a pastor also pray complaining prayers? So, God, wait till I do. When it can't be like this. There are members that frustrate a pastor to the extent that the pastor will be, instead of praying, he will be complaining. In the presence of God. Do you know that Moses was frustrated? Moses came before the presence of God and he said, God, wait till I do. Wait till I do. Don't make me see my wretchedness. Because of the complaint of the children of Israel. Don't make me see my wretchedness. Kill me now. God said, don't worry. Let me add men to you. Let me give you men. And God put the spirit that was in him on 70 people to stand by him. So that he can have members who will back him up. When there are no members that back up a pastor, it can end up in frustration and misery. And there are members that push a pastor into complaining instead of praying. Which one are you? Pastors pray for members who are productive. So Joseph entered the house of Potiphar. Everything turned around. He entered into the palace of Pharaoh. Did everything turn around or not? Everything turned around. Anywhere Joseph entered, there was prosperity. When you enter a church, you enter the midst of the women began to go down. You are a bad example. When you enter the midst of the men, complaint begin to come into the midst of the men. You are a bad example. When you enter the midst of the youth, complaint begin to come from the youth, and the youth begin to scatter. You are a bad example. You are a bad example. When you enter a place, productive members, the first thing that comes to their mind is, how do we expand? How do we enlarge? How do we enlarge? The sons of the prophet, they told Elisha, he said, Elisha, the place where we are is too small for us. Let us go and cut wood and do enlargement. Enlargement complaint. The suggestion did not come from the pastor. It came from the sons of the prophet. Remember, it did not just come from everybody. It came from sons. Somebody says sons of the prophet. So the prophet has members, but he had sons. There were members. There is a way you be a member of a church. You are no longer a member. You serve God to a point that you are no longer a member. You become a daughter. You become a son. You become a daughter. You become a son. Are you a son in the house? Are you a daughter in the house? Some people just go to church and put their name there. And then appear once. So that if anything happen, I will say, Pastor, now I'm a member now. No. It's not a member. So when a pastor is saying it's not a member, we have witnesses. No, in the church. Even if you see him once in a month, not be church in the come. Now shrine. Praise the Lord. Say in the church. I will tell you that I have members who are not here. I told you, I have members. I have online members. I told you I went to Zoro that time. Somebody saw me. He said, I follow you from Port Harcourt. And before you know it, he said, I follow you every time. And before you know it, he entertained me heavily. Bought drinks, bought wine, gave me 10,000 cola. Just because he said he followed me online. And that was the first time I have seen him in my life. So there are people here, even online members are better than them. Online members, they are better than them. Because you see them once a month. Once. Their heart is not beating with the heart of the vision. Their heart is not in the vision. So they cannot be productive. Go and check Joseph. How the work they put in his hand. Under that 7 years, he said this. He filled the whole of the land of Egypt with corn. And everybody was gathering from everywhere to come and meet him. God will help us. We don't have time to talk about many of them. But look at Ruth. When Ruth entered the life of Naomi, You see the impact that she brought to the life of Naomi. People look at Ruth and they said, this your daughter-in-law is better than 7 sons. This your daughter-in-law is better than 7 sons. So the women, they were dancing around Naomi. And they were singing. But this was a woman who said, I will not leave you. Where you go, I will go. Even when the husband was late. That is love. That is love. Such people are always very productive. Look at Esther. Esther said, for my people, if I perish, I perish. Esther. These are productive people. They are productive people. They are concerned about the brethren. They are concerned about what goes on in the church. Productive. In what way are you an addition to the church? In what way are you an addition to the church? Some people, they are not addition, but they are subtraction. Because even the people that come to church, they help to drive them away. Some help to drive them away. Because of their attitude. Because of their gossip. Some are planted for evil. You discover that somebody who is not in church, the person did not come to church. The message they preach in the church